morning, everybody. We are back to Big Men Campus, and we are live NFL Week 11. My name is Jeff. They call me the Big Men Campus here. My co-host Ryan D'Amico. Ryan, it's Week 11 in the NFL, and we're ready for another week of the pigskin. Ryan, how you doing today?
What's up, man? Good.
Good. We got a large slate of games today. A lot of interesting games. Got teams on the West Coast, from the East Coast. Got a lot going on. Got injury reports. We're going to keep everyone up to date and abreast of what's going on. College was yesterday. We'll get to that a little later on what happened there. But we're here for the NFL today, and that means one thing, our picks. We give a play for every game, no matter what game it is. And if we disagree, it washes out. But either way, we keep record here. And if you want, you can look at any game that we broke down. We've done a show pretty much every week. Done very well lately, Ryan. We didn't have a show last week. That was 1 week we didn't have a show. But we keep a pick for every game. And we've gone 22-12, Ryan, over the last 3 weeks. So done very well with this show. And, you know, like I said before, and I'll say it again, the big thing about it is sometimes I don't want to give a pick out for a game because some of the games you just have no opinion on.
Yep.
There's one or two of those today, but we try to give a pick for every game, try to answer any questions, and kind of break down everything. You're the big NFL guy. You love the NFL, and I like to bet on it. So either way, everyone out there listening, thanks for listening as always. Retweet the show if you can. It's very important. Ryan, we are sponsored by C2CSportsFirm.com.
Yep.
Over the site that we're on, Sean and I. Sean had a great day yesterday. Big, I think 5 or 6 unit day. Ryan, I just continue to not be able to get college football going. It's been a rough year in college football for me. I won't hide or lie about it. It's been tough. But what can you do? You just got to keep going with it.
You just keep on keeping on, yeah.
It's part of the season, I guess. We've got a big college basketball slate as well. Maybe we'll delve into one or two games with that a little bit later as well. But it's all about the NFL today. The Buzz, Donnie Rightside, Sean, how you doing? Hope you guys are doing well and enjoy the games today. Let's jump into it here. First game on the card, Ryan. Colts -3 against the Tennessee Titans, over under 53. And again, if you're new to the show, you don't need to ask us if we're going to do a certain game. We will cover every one. Colts -3 against the Titans, over under 53. Ryan, it's been a long time since the Titans have beat the Colts. Colts have won 10 in a row and 24 of 32 against Tennessee. So it's been a tough. Whenever you see that game on the schedule for Tennessee, it's been a not something you look forward to. But Tennessee's been playing better. I mean, they've won 2 of 3. Beat Green Bay last week in a game that, I got to tell you, if we would have had a show last week, I would have took Green Bay. I've not been someone that's liked to bet on Tennessee, but they put up 47 against Green Bay. How about that?
Yeah, Mariota's been the best quarterback in the league over the last, I guess you'd say, probably close to a month. So
Sure. Yeah, he really has. And, they got DeMarco Murray, who's second in the league in rushing. Their offense has looked like one of the better offenses in the league lately. 2 good over teams either way. I mean, Tennessee's 8-2 to the over. Colts 7-2 to the over. Last 3 games, Ryan. Tennessee 39 points per game. How about that?
yeah, they're clicking on all cylinders.
Colts, they're scoring as well, 26 points a game. Neither team really plays a lot of defense. I think you would definitely give the edge to Tennessee on the defensive end. Decent against the run. I mean, they've been all right. Mariota, you're right. Best game has been quite the stud. But this Colts team allows over 400 yards a game right on defense. They're a team that can never seem to get a stop when you need them to. And I got to tell you, I think maybe other than Cleveland, they may be one of the worst defenses in the league. They're just a team you can't trust. I'm going to go with the Titans here, Ryan. At home. I think you get the job done today.
Yeah, look, it's actually a road game, just throwing that out there.
Sorry.
But I actually think that maybe kind of benefits Tennessee even more, too, because they will be a underdog. We talk about them as a favorite. They don't tend to get the job done. But as a dog here on the road, in a dome, on turf, on that fast track, you got to think that helps Mariota and those guys. DeMarco Murray, first play of the game last week, he rips off a 75-yard touchdown run. So, look, I think this spot's definitely Tennessee. Or over. I think overs can come through as well here. Tennessee, they've been scoring, but, Jeff talked about what they've been doing over the last handful of games, 39 points per game over their last few. But defensively too, this season they haven't been anything special. A lot of their games seem to be shootouts over the last handful. You talk about last week, the points that were scored a couple weeks ago against San Diego. That was a shootout, a game that they ended up winning as well. So. If you're a totals person, I definitely think you look at the over here. But yeah, I like Tennessee as well. You'd be hard pressed to kind of bet against them right now, especially as a dog. I like the fact that we're getting points here. So you look at the points that they've scored over the last. Even the last time they played Indy, which was a loss, which was 26-34. That game, 60 points scored combined. So that game goes over. If we're looking at the 53 total here, 36, 35, and 47. So they've been scoring. So I would go Titans as well. But I like the over, Jeff. I really like the over.
So are you giving the over out, Ryan?
I'll give the over out. Sure. Yeah,
right,
I like the over, man. I do. I really like the over. I mean, they're scoring, but they're giving up. They're giving up well into the 20s and even 30s in some of these games.
The one concerning thing is, one thing about the side and why I don't know that I can ever make the Titans a play of a large amount. They just don't cover. They're not a good team against the spread, but they've been playing well. You would think this is the team. If any team's going to beat, if any Tennessee team's going to beat the Colts, it's going to be this one right now. This is their chance to seize the moment, Ryan.
Yeah.
And beat Tennessee or beat Indianapolis. Luck's never lost to Tennessee.
This is a different Tennessee team, though, man. This really is different. They don't have Jake. They don't have Mettenberger starting. They don't have some of those
Jake Locker.
They don't. Yeah, this is a better
Charlie Whitehurst.
Yeah, they've had some really bad quarterbacks play against the Colts, so it's pretty easy and obvious to see why the Colts have had success over the last handful of years.
And the Colts have been a team that has dominated this division for the most part for a long time. So. Yeah, I think they get the job done. You like the over 53. I would agree with you on that. We're going to go Tennessee as well, +3. So a 2-pack of picks in this one. Mariota, first quarterback in NFL history, had 3 games, 70-plus completion, 4 TDs, and no interceptions. Yep. Yeah, he's been great.
Been very, very good.
Yeah, I don't think how you can deny that. You're right. Next one, 1:00 Eastern. Detroit Lions -6 against the Jags. Over under 47.5. Jags have struggled. We've talked about it before. No two ways about it. 2-7. They're struggling to score the ball, 19 points a game, giving up 27. But you look at the Lions, they've been struggling lately also to move the football. Just 18 points a game over the last 3 games. Jags have won 1 game on the road, and it was against the Bears, who, look, they're probably a little worse than the Jags. Lions are in a playoff hunt. They're at home. They've covered 4 or 5 at home. Bortles has been a mess, throwing 11 interceptions in 11 games, or 10 games, whatever it is. I still want to trust the Lions. The Jags I don't trust. I don't think they're playing for absolutely anything. They've been a mess on the road. This was short and sweet for me. I'm going to lay the 6 with the Lions. I think in the midst of a kind of a playoff hunt, they're at home. The problem with them is they just don't. They don't ever seem to blow anyone out, the Lions. Which is
they always play close games. Yeah.
But I still like this one. I think it'll be 27-20, something like that. I think it'll be close, but I'm gonna go Detroit here. I'm not very keen on this one, though.
No, and like you said, they don't really blow anyone out. And the Jaguars over the last couple of games have been in tight contests. Losing 19-14 to Kansas City and then 24-21 to Houston. So they've been in close games. This game to me, I think Detroit. We'll learn a lot about Detroit in this game. Detroit actually was on a bye last week, and without doing anything, with just sitting on their couch, moved into a tie for first place in that division in the NFC North. So now they're off a bye. They see that they're in first place. Everything is in front of them. They're at home. This is a spot where the Lions should really kind of roll. Jacksonville is just one of those teams people thought was going to make a step forward, kind of like the Raiders this year. Some people got the Raiders right, didn't get the Jaguars right. Jaguars -14 in turnover differential this year. That's probably the biggest reason why this team is 2-7. I'll lean Detroit here. This is a spot where they should take care of business pretty easily. Stafford has been good this year. And if there's ever a game where they can, have a comfortable win, it should be today. So I'll go Detroit. Jacksonville, they played well lately, but I think different story today.
I can't name one position player on the Jags. I really. I can't. I'm not sure I can.
Wow, that's kind of
who
lame.
I can't.
Whatever.
I can't name one.
Allen Robinson, Alan Hearns, Blake Bortles.
Yeah, I don't watch it. Well, other than him,
T.J. Yeldon.
Yeah, other than Bortles, I don't.
Okay.
I would have to think about it for a minute.
Allen Robinson's one of the best wide rrecievers in the league. But all right,
I don't watch a lot of Jags games.
I hear you.
Honestly,
And you don't play NFL fantasy football either. So
yeah, right. I haven't played Madden in a while either.
Right.
So, by the way, though, on the quick point of game systems, I think I'm going to buy a game system.
Okay.
I've been obsessed with war games lately. I want to get a war game.
It's fun, yeah. No, it's definitely fun. It's just finding the time.
Yeah.
I had a PS3 and I got rid of it just for the fact that it was sitting there collecting dust. I don't use it, so why keep it? So.
Right. Bortles 11 interceptions though. Hard to get enthralled with him. So I would lay it with the Lions. You would as well.
Yeah.
Next one, Chiefs -7 against the Bucs. Over under 44.5. Kansas City defense, man, how about them? They've been great. They've been fantastic, giving up just 16 points a game at home this year. It's tough to go into Arrowhead and win, but it's been regrettably tough this year going into Arrowhead. Kansas City 4-0 at home this year. They've really had a good home field advantage. Kansas City defense, Ryan, lead the NFL in interceptions. They've intercepted opponents 13 times. We know Jameis Winston has turnover issues, if you will. It seems like he throws an interception every week, doesn't it?
Yeah. No, he does.
Ever since he came into the league. The Kansas City offense has been better at home also. They've won 5 in a row. They're tied for first in the AFC West with the Raiders. And look, for me, it's just hard to think that Tampa's going to come in here and be competitive. I mean, this stadium doesn't seem to really cater to up and down young teams like Tampa Bay. I just think it's a tough place to play. Kansas City looking like one of the better teams in the AFC. They always seem to be right there, Ryan. Right involved in the playoff hunt. Yeah, Alex Smith continues to just kind of do his thing. Defensively, they've been very good. And Travis Kelce's kind of become, one of the better tight ends in the league. No Jeremy Maclin, though, today. He's inactive.
No.
However, I think Kelce will be fine, and some of their other receivers. I'm going to lay the number here with Kansas City. I think this is a good teaser play. I think Kansas City will win. I'm not crazy about laying the 7 points, but if I'm going to lay it with anyone as far as 7 at home, I'm going to go with Kansas City. They've been getting the job done lately. So I'm just not a big Tampa Bay guy, really.
Yeah, both teams kind of banged up. You talked about Maclin not playing. Wide receiver Russell Shepard with a hip injury. He's questionable. He may not go, so that's another weapon for Tampa and Jameis Winston that they're not going to have. Jacquizz Rodgers, running back, he's out, but they got back Doug Martin last week, who he had 16 carries. Got to think maybe they'll, incorporate him a little more. Maybe take the ball out of Jameis's hands so he doesn't have to turn it over. Chiefs do get Justin Houston back today, which is really big for that defense. He's probably their best player. If not, he's definitely the leader of that defense. I kind of look at the under in this spot. 44. I know it's kind of low, but that's kind of a direction I'm kind of leaning. But I think you hit the nail on the head saying that this is a good teaser spot because I think Kansas City should win at home. Arrowhead, one of the toughest places to go and win historically. So I'll say with the Chiefs. I wish that number was under 7, but I'll side with the Chiefs with you.
Now, let me ask you, Rod. You're a Mike Evans fan. You've been
oh yeah,
very very.
I'm in fantasy every year.
You've been very positive about Mike Evans since he came out of Texas A&M, and even before Texas A&M. Mike Evans decided recently that he wasn't going to do it anymore, but
then he
initially
backed off. Yeah,
right. Initially, Mike Evans decided when Donald Trump was elected president, he would not stand for the national anthem.
Yep.
What are your thoughts on that? You agree with that?
I mean, if
because it's
I
different.
don't think
Is it different than not?
I don't think that protesting during the national anthem is the correct way to protest. That's just my opinion. You want to protest, you want to do things, stand up for what you believe in. That's fine. But I don't think the national anthem, which is something that's pretty near and dear to our country and stands for a lot of different things, not just black rights or whatever, the fact that you don't agree with the president. I think that's the wrong way to go about it personally.
And that's what he realized, and he stopped doing it. But he I think it was a little better of a scenario to do it. But if you don't agree with black rights, then go out and do something about it. But
Right.
if you just don't like the president, I get that.
Yeah.
But again, he's wavered off of it, and now he's not doing it. So.
If I remember correctly, I think Mike Evans might be a free agent this offseason. Be a nice player for the Eagles to go out and try to sign, wouldn't it?
We're kind of off that subject,
Jesus.
but that would be.
I'm just saying, he's one of the two. Him and Alshon Jeffrey are two of the biggest names in wide receiver free agents this year. They'll probably both be locked up by their teams, but still, something to think about.
So we're going to go with Chiefs -7 here. Not in love with this one, but
I hate this game personally. I hate it.
1 p.m. Giants -6.5 against the Bears, over under 42.5. Bears at 2-7, Giants at 6-3.
Can you explain to me how the Giants are 6-3?
Because I think
I'm flabbergasted. If you look at this team's numbers, just points allowed, point differential, turnovers, it's staggering.
What does that say, Ryan?
It is staggering. Yeah, ugly games.
That's what they do. They win ugly games.
They're 6-3. Staggering.
I think this is going to be another ugly game, Ryan. 35 degrees and windy, 15 to 25 miles an hour. Could be a little raw. No Alshon Jeffrey today. Suspended 4 games for PED use. Does that waver your sentiment on getting Alshon Jeffrey? Could be another.
It's good that they didn't get him because now he wouldn't be playing.
Well, and you look at what Lane Johnson, he did this also. And
right.
He was a repeat offender, that kind of thing. Bears 0-5 ATS on the road this year, Ryan. They have failed to cover in 4 straight also against the NFC East. This has not been a good division for the Bears to play. They've not did well against the NFC East over the years. Chicago's been a mess on offense. 15 points per game on the road, Ryan, and giving up 29. Probably not a good recipe to win.
Right.
They score 15 and give up 29. They're not even in these games. Giants have covered 4 in a row overall. And I think the one concern here for me, Ryan, Giants 5th in the NFL against the run, 92 yards a game. You got to feel like, Jay Cutler's going to want to try to lean on the run. That's not going to be a good idea because, again, they can't run the ball, and Giants have been great against the run. Bears also, Ryan, pretty good against in defense statistics. 10th in the league in the NFL as far as defense. I didn't know that. Mm-hmm. I was a little surprised to learn Chicago was that good defensively. I think the under is the play here. 42.5. Okay. I'm going to go under. I think Chicago will struggle to move the ball, really. I mean, like I said, the Giants just seem to ugly it up. They're not a great defensive team, but their defensive line's been good. They've been able to stop the run. I don't think Jay Cutler can beat anyone. He really doesn't have any weapons. You look at the Giants, I think the Bears are a little bit better on defense than many may think. They might score the Giants, and I think they'll cover, but I think the under is the better play. I could see like a 27-13 type of game. It's going to be close, but I'm going to go under.
It's funny, the Giants, they've won 4 in a row. Each of those games, each of those wins has come by single digits. So laying a touchdown here may think to lean towards Chicago. I think... Look, I kind of like the under as well. I wish that total was a little higher.
42.5.
42, that's, 24-21, that's a loser. But
42.5 is a pretty normal total.
I hear you, but I'm just saying I wish it was a little higher because I would definitely like the under even more. That's the way I'll side. I would expect that, with Alshon Jeffrey out of the lineup, not a lot of, home run hitters now in that lineup, that you would expect Jordan Howard to kind of them to feed him, and the way Cutler has played, especially last week, just turning the ball over. You don't think John Fox would let him sit back there and whip the ball around 45 times?
Giants really stout against the run, though.
Yeah, but that's the way I personally would attack it. The way Jordan Howard has played over the last handful of, to a month, over a month, he's been fantastic. That's the way I would lean. That's the way I would kind of attack this game, and the Giants, it'd be a nice game for them to run the ball, but they don't run the ball. Their running game is short passes from Eli Manning to get the ball out of his hands quickly. So they get Victor Cruz back today, which will help. But I'll go under, I guess, as well.
Yeah.
If you're in the metropolitan area, if you're in New York, New Jersey, PA, any of that, Ohio, if you're in that square, win's a factor. Win's a big factor, actually. So if you're looking to get involved in any of those games, win will be a big factor. They're saying, and we'll get to the game soon, but the Cleveland game, they're saying 40-mile-an-hour winds. Like, holy shit.
Yeah, it's real windy out there, man. You got to definitely be aware of that. I'm not a huge proponent that wind really matters, if it's 10, 20 miles an hour, but you get up 40 miles an hour, and that's clearly
I'm not.
problem.
Wind is important, I think, but as far as like weather, like snow and that kind of, I'm not really keen on that. Some players' biggest games have come in bad weather.
I think in college, rain and like wind.
But I mean, look at that Detroit Eagles game a few years ago. I mean, that weekend where everyone was like pounding unders, all those games just like soared over, and
NFL's a little different. I think
NFL's really different.
You're dealing with professionals and guys that have been through all the conditions. But we'll go under 42.5. I think it's just kind of like I said, an ugly game. 1 o'clock Vikings -2.5 against Cards, over under 40. Arizona opened as a pick, Ryan. So people have been betting Minnesota in this spot. Not public and the markets are not high on the Cardinals. But you look at the Vikings, 29-13 against the spread over the years. So I mean, I guess that's probably why they're betting the Vikings here. They've just been good against the spread. Yeah. And how can you be behind the Cardinals right now? I mean, this team has struggled. They're not moving the ball. 16 points a game over the last 3 games. And now they're going to face a Vikings team, Ryan, who gives up 15 points a game at home. Both these defenses are good. Top 3 in the NFL. Cardinals at 3, Vikings at 2. Both give up under 18 points per game. Vikings have won 7 straight against Arizona in Minnesota. And they've won 10 of 14 overall against Arizona. So they've owned this team. Both teams have kind of been lackluster lately. Vikings haven't been able to move the ball, kind of just been losing games you would think a couple weeks ago they would have won. Cardinals have just laid eggs in certain games. Carson Palmer's been very pedestrian. Their run game has since disappeared with David Johnson. Where's he been? He's kind of disappeared. I'm going to go with the Vikings here. I think at home they get it turned around, Ryan. I think they actually win. I think they win by a touchdown, honestly.
Wow.
I do. I think defensively they're a better team. I think, I just get a feeling.
I'm not sure how they're going to do anything offensively. That's my question. I mean, defense can keep you in a game for a while, but eventually you need to score points. And I think Pascano makes a fantastic point, which is something I was going to get to. Is their offensive line was terrible to begin with. Now they lose, and they lost Jake Long last week, who filled in, was their starting left tackle. He tears his Achilles, so there's another guy they have to replace. I'm not sure how they're going to have success running the ball. Bradford's looked a mess throwing the ball. I'm not sure how they're going to score points. Defensively, they should be able to match up, I guess, with Arizona. Arizona and Carson Palmer has been pretty lackluster as of late, but you look at their. I'm on the other side. I don't like Minnesota. I don't.
Yeah, but Arizona, what has this team done? I mean,
no,
really.
I hear you, but I mean, this is a team in Minnesota that's reeling. They've lost 4 in a row. If they lose today, they'll be the first team ever to win their first 5 and then lose 5 in a row. So.
Back at home, Mike Zimmer. I think he gets it. I guess he gets the troops prepared.
All right.
But this game is a good game to disagree both on.
It is. This is a good game to watch because this game, in my opinion, sucks. 2 teams that just high expectations and have just really kind of plummeted.
Yeah, if you have like a really keen objective on this game, I'd like to hear it. Like I
agree.
Really, if you have a keen side on it, I would like to hear it. So we'll cancel that one out. No opinion on either. I like the Vikings. You like the Cardinals.
Yeah.
So we'll just cancel that one out. 1 o'clock Bengals -2.5 against the Bills, over under 47.5. Bills are off a bye. Shady McCoy gets healthy. A little bit more healthy. He's going to go today and be in there. Bengals have been poor against the run, right? 25th in the league against the run.
They've been poor in general.
Yeah, and you would think McCoy can get something going today. Andy Dalton, Ryan, has to connect, though, against this Bills secondary. Tyler Eifert, A.J. Green, they should be able to get going today. Bills are giving up 8.3 yards per pass play and have given up 7 plays of 50 yards or more. That's tops in the league.
Wow.
So Andy Dalton's going to have to be able to move the ball. And if he can't today, I don't know what to tell him. You also look at the fact, Ryan, that Eifert, since he's come back, this offense has been better. Since he came back, Buffalo, they average and give up 10.6 yards per target for tight ends. So tight ends are eating against the Bills. Andy Dalton should have a good day today, you would think. If you play daily fantasy, I feel like Andy Dalton's a good play today. I think the Bills I think they're going to be able to move the ball as well. I think this run defense has issues. I don't think they're going to be able to get out of it against Shady McCoy, who's been a very good running back over the years. I think Tyrod Taylor will do enough. I like the over 47.5. I think both these teams, are able to score today. I think you see some deep pass plays. This one could be kind of a wild one, 27-24 or 30-24. I think this one gets over.
Yeah, a lot of these teams are kind of, both of these teams kind of banged up. It's not the Bills. Bengals, first time home in about 4 weeks. This will be their first home game in a while, so that it's got to make them feel good. The Bills, Bengals coming off a short week as well. If you remember, they played Monday night against the Giants in a losing effort. Bills, man, they like you said, coming off a bye, but that's something I've noticed early in the season. Kind of glad you touched on it, was the big plays that they have given up. Their quote unquote Pro Bowl, a cornerback, Ronald Darby. He was benched last week in a loss to Seattle. He could lose his job permanently, so that's not a good sign. Defensive tackle Marcel Darius, he's still banged up and limited in practice. He's questionable. Don't think he's going to go today. His backup, he's going to be out for a second straight game. Look, I think points, you're right. I think points should be scored in this game. The Bengals have shown me that, look, they're nothing special defensively. Gave up 27 points to the Redskins, gave up 28 points to Dallas, 35 to New England. They gave up 29 to the Broncos, who the Broncos are struggling to score 10 points per game right now, it seems like. So I think points should be scored, Jeff. I think that's the right side, and that's the right play in this game. I think it's a tough game to get a gauge on side-wise. So I think the game should go over, right? I think both teams should be able to make plays. A.J. Green and Eifert, and then Tyrod Taylor. Most importantly, too, with his legs, Tyrod Taylor. I think he needs to kind of run a little bit and get some big plays for Buffalo that way.
And you saw Ezekiel Elliott run all over. I mean, he's run all over anyone, but he really ran all over the Bengals.
Yeah, McCoy should be able to have success, right?
Sure. Over 47.5 in Bills, Bengals. I like it. 1 o'clock Eastern night. Cowboys -7 against the Ravens. Over under 44.5. Dallas, best team in the NFL against the spread. 8-1.
Yep.
I mean,
best team in the league record-wise. So
right. How about that? However,
yep.
Today, Ryan, they face the best defense in the NFL overall. Baltimore Ravens.
Best rush defense, I think, too.
Correct. That would be 100% correct, Ryan. Ravens give up 3.3 yards per carry. They've given up 71 yards per game this year against the run. They've only allowed 4 rushing touchdowns all year. And in 9 games, 7 of those opponents were held to 65 yards or less. Let me say this. If Ezekiel Elliott has a big day today, he will win the NFL MVP. This is a huge game for him. If he can run all over this defense, watch out.
Yeah.
Flacco, look, I know Flacco's kind of been average lately and over the years. I think he'll be able to move the ball today. I mean, this Dallas pass defense, 21st in the league, Ryan. They're average. They've kind of bend but didn't break this year, and they've actually played pretty well defensively, but you would think that Flacco can be able to move the ball. Doesn't have a lot of weapons today, which is concerning. But, I think defensively, Baltimore's good enough to hang around here. Baltimore plays a lot of close games. You don't really ever see Baltimore get blown out. They always seem to hang around. They're just kind of a stingy, annoying team that plays good defense. I think if they can keep Ezekiel Elliott in check, which is tough, but I think they'll do it. I think Baltimore +7's the play here. Mark my words, I think Baltimore's going to win today. I don't know why. I have a feeling when I did these games last night, it was like 1 o'clock Eastern. I was sitting up doing these games, and I keep saying to myself, and it's not just because the Cowboys. I just have a feeling they win. I don't know why.
Well, it's interesting. Baltimore, the only team that Dallas has not beaten in their history. Now, I know Ravens.
Wow, really?
Yep. And I know the Ravens haven't been around forever, but that's the only team they haven't beaten, and the Cowboys are the only team that the Ravens have not lost to in their history. So I could see the Ravens going into to Texas Stadium, the new Texas Stadium, Jerry World, and getting a win as well. I'm not sure I'm going to go out on a limb and say that. Dallas is just clicking on all cylinders. I'll definitely grab the points. I mean, you look at last week's game, a late, emotional, back and forth game against Pittsburgh that was just one of the better football games in general I've seen in a long time. That was a really fun game to watch. So I think this could be a patented letdown game. And Baltimore, look, Baltimore 5-4. They're in first place in that division. They have their goals out in front of them and whatnot. This game can go a long way in kind of putting this team in the direction they want to go. So yeah, I like Baltimore +7. I know some places out there had +7 and a hook. So I'm not sure if that line's still out there, but if you can get that, that's obviously even better. Maybe even buy up to 7.5 if that's your game. So I like Baltimore in this spot. I wouldn't be surprised if they did win outright, Jeff. Kind of something you alluded to. So. Breaking news though: Ravens top cornerback Jimmy Smith is inactive. That's kind of worrisome a little bit, I guess. But still, I like Baltimore.
Good. And I mean, Cowboys get the Redskins next week. NFC East matchup.
Yep.
I don't know. Maybe look ahead. How worried are you of a game in the middle of the season against an AFC?
And they had the whole Romo saga this week with his press conference and that whole talk everywhere about him giving up the starting role to Dak. So yeah.
Has Dak Prescott faced a defense this good? Is the question. I don't know.
Yeah, look, Dak, every problem that's come up, he seemed to have an answer for. So
I think the one thing about Jimmy Smith, he was listed as doubtful most of the week.
Sure,
so,
right. Yeah.
I mean, I think they had prepared for that.
I hear you.
So again, I'm not. It's definitely a big loss for sure. But you look at this. You got to get open if you're Steve Smith, Kamar Aiken, Dennis Pitta. Dennis Pitta, is he injured or not? Usually he is.
No, he's actually healthy.
Okay. So, yeah, I mean, you definitely got some stuff there. They have to be able to run the ball a little bit with maybe Buck Allen from USC can move the ball.
Yeah.
I think they get the job done today. I like the Ravens +7. Wouldn't be surprised to see them win the game. Last 1 o'clock game, Brian.
A lot of 1 o'clock games today.
Yes, final 1 o'clock game. Steelers -8 against Cleveland. Over under 44.5. Cleveland 0-10. The only 0-10 team in the league.
Yep.
We got to do something. Do you think they go on 0-16?
I've said this. I said that about 3 weeks ago. I think they lose every game.
Yeah, I think they had maybe against the
serious.
Jets that might have been a good spot.
And I know, and I see a lot of people out there, and I think it's because they want to be that guy that called it. I see a lot of people that back the Browns or say they're going to, or say they're going to win. I see a handful of people, not just 1, 2. I see a handful of people week in and week out. And I don't get it. And then they freak out after it loses and saying, that should have been a win. Well, that's what happens when you bet on the Browns. I talked about
the Skullcastles bet on the Browns a lot.
He's one of them.
He bets on them a lot.
I don't get it. I mean,
it's Trey's bet on
a couple of the games they've been ahead and they've let the teams come back. Look, I don't get it. I mean, let's just quick before we break down the game, Jeff. Look at their schedule: Pittsburgh, Giants, Cincinnati, all 3 at home. Then they finish at Buffalo, home against San Diego, at Pittsburgh. I'm just not sure I see a win in there.
I could see them maybe beating San Diego for some reason.
San Diego likes to shit the bed against teams, so maybe there. But
it's there's no Jacksonville.
I've said they think they go 0-16.
Yeah,
so we'll see.
Well, they've had a lot of success in that town the last year or two. So
yeah,
fuck them. You mentioned the weather conditions, Ryan. 20-degree wind chill, 30-mile-an-hour wind. It's going to be cold. Look. These teams have played in this weather before. I mean, it's not like they're from Miami. It's not like they've never gone to the East Coast. Cleveland 0-4 ATS this year at home, 2-8 overall. It's crazy because they're 0-10, but they're not even covering. They're getting crushed. And I think one of those games was a backdoor with a minute left. I think it was against. We backed them, I think, that week.
It was,
they actually covered.
Yeah, I forget it was against.
I forget it was
They
against.
scored,
Miami,
and got the 2-point conversion.
Yeah. They can't score, and they have the worst defense in the NFL overall. Ryan, they give up 419 yards per game and 30 points per game. So they're rated the worst defense in the league. And, you would have to think off a tough loss, Ben Roethlisberger has to be licking his lips to play this game. You look at Ben in his career against the Browns, Ryan, 20-2. Over his last 2 games against Cleveland, 728 yards and 6 touchdowns. So, I mean, you got to feel like he's going to get right. Browns also can't stop the run. Le'Veon Bell may have a big day. Browns give up 144 rushing yards a game.
I think Le'Veon Bell's going to have a huge day, actually. I mean, especially with the weather and everything. And they've been getting the ball to him, not just rushing, but coming out of it and lining up as a wide receiver. He should have a big day.
I'm not a huge fan of correlated parlays. A correlated parlay is over and under and the side, same game. I think this is a really solid correlated parlay game. Steelers -8, over 44.5. One thing about the Browns, I know they don't score a lot. Cody Kessler, though, leads all rookies with a 67% completion percentage. He gets to the job. He can move the ball. Mm-hmm. They just have to get the ball in the end zone. And against this defense, Pittsburgh's defense has given up 20 points a game over the last 3 games.
They haven't been.
I think the over is a good play. The concern for me would be like it's 34-10 or something.
Plus, no Cam Hayward out. He's out for the year with a pectoral tear, so that's their best defensive line, and he's gone.
The win conditions are concerning, though.
Sure.
I'm going to go with the Steelers -8. I think they hammer the Browns today. This is a perfect spot to kind of just get right in. You know,
that's where my head's at. I like Pittsburgh -8 as well. I'm not betting the Browns. Sorry, I'm not going to do it.
Yeah, the Buzz. You've been a guy that's bet the Browns too. I don't get it. I mean, really.
Yeah, I'm
not. Are you trying to be the guy that says they do, or
yeah,
what?
I don't. I don't get it. I refuse to do it. Like I really refuse.
How many times are they going to burn your money before you say, you know what, I'm just not going to bet
Pittsburgh's defense. I mean, this isn't the best. This isn't the Blitzburg defense of old. Ever since Dick LeBeau left, this defense has been just very average to below average. So maybe this is a spot, but I personally don't see it. I like the Steelers coming off of a loss, going to Cleveland, a place where they should be able to get right. I mentioned I think Le'Veon Bell should have a big day today. I think Ben can have a big day today. With Antonio Brown and Jesse James, who's been a nice little addition there at tight end. So yeah, I like the Steelers here in this matchup. That's kind of the way I would lean as well. Like I said, I just want nothing to do with Cleveland. I mean, it's either like bet against them or don't bet the game at all. In my opinion, that's just kind of the way I look at things. So.
Yeah, no, I don't really get why people try to be the guy that says they bet Cleveland. I mean, yep. I get Buzz.
Steelers -9. Yep, that doesn't really change. 8 or 9 doesn't do much.
Yeah, if it was 11, I wouldn't care.
Right, I'm still good.
So yeah, I mean, if you want me to lay 10, I will. Yeah. Give me the Steelers.
So that's the way. Yep, that's the way I would go on it. Yep.
So all right, so we agree. Steelers minus what is it?
We'll
9.
Do 9. Yep.
-9 is the play there. Let's move on. 4 o'clock. 4 o'clock games.
2 games. Yep.
Yeah, 3 games.
Is there 3?
Yeah, we got 3. Dude, we don't care. Okay, I don't care about that. More of a fade on the Steelers. Okay, interesting. Awful loss. That's gutsy of you, best gambler. Interesting. Dolphins -1 against the Rams. Over under 39. Jared Goff, Ryan, gets his first start. How about that?
Yep.
Finally going to move to the rookie after, a team that's really struggled to move the football. One of the worst offenses in the league. Need a spark. They think Goff's going to give it to him. Goff, though, lackluster preseason. Do we see him in the preseason? He didn't look good. I remember a game or two.
Nothing special, no.
He was kind of average. Miami, though, a team that's really hard to gauge. I mean, they're 5-11 against teams with losing records over the last 3 years. So, for whatever reason, they just play down the teams that they should beat. They've also struggled this year on the road, 1-3, scoring just 18 points a game. Rams bad on offense. This team, 12.7 points a game at home this year. And over the last 3 games, 9.5 points a game. The games that they're involved in have been an average score of 12-9, right? Very low-scoring games. Last week, 9-6 against, I think, the Jets. I think Goff will give you a spark. I think as far as the arm strength, definitely has more arm strength than Case Keenum. You'd have to imagine going to open the playbook up a little bit, throw the ball downfield a little bit. I also like the fact that, look, Todd Gurley's been MIA all year. Can he get going today? I would hope. I mean, Miami's 30th in the league against the run.
Yeah.
LA good against the run. I like the Rams in this game. I'm going to take a shot with them here. I think there's injuries on the Miami offensive line. Pouncey and Brandon Albert are out. I think they open up the playbook a little bit. I think the Rams score maybe a touchdown or two that they wouldn't have with Case Keenum in there, I think Goff gives them a little bit of a spark. I'm not high on the Dolphins on the road here. I'm just not.
Yeah.
I don't think they're going to be very successful.
Defensively, the Dolphins are really bad at stopping the run. So if there was ever a game to get Gurley going and get that offense going, it would be today against this rush defense of the Dolphins, which needs to happen because if Miami stops to run early and forces Keenum to try and beat them, that's just not going to work, really. I mean, the Dolphins have been pretty fortuitous as of late defensively. So if the Rams can run the ball early, get success, establish a line of scrimmage, that obviously benefits the Rams and benefits bettors for the Rams. The Dolphins, you're right, though, man. We're talking about an up-and-down team. To me, though, I think the big thing that hurts them, and let's not forget, the Rams offensively have been bad. We talk about that. But defensively, they've been very good. I mean, defensively, they've been very good. So I think that they can have some success today. The key for me, too, is something you alluded to I didn't think you would talk about, is the Dolphins had won 4 games in a row with that same offensive line intact. Losing Pouncey and losing Brandon Albert, both not playing today, really, really is going to hurt this team, I think. I'll side with the Rams as well, but that's not another game that I'm really keen on.
Yeah, I just think the Rams kind of do some things that really hurt the Dolphins, really kind of prevent them from scoring. The run defense has been good. Overall, that's been a key cog for this team, the Rams, the defense. I hope Gurley gets going today, and
yep.
I think Goff gives them a little spark. So we'll go Rams in this one.
Yep.
I think at home they're the play. Next one, Patriots minus 11.5 against the 49ers, over under 51. Niners 1-8. Patriots 7-2. Couldn't get more of a mismatch probably in this one.
And the Patriots coming off a loss, like good God.
Correct. Patriots off a loss. Rob Gronkowski though is out.
He is,
but is it going to matter? Who knows? You may not have more of a coaching advantage here.
Chip Kelly beat Bill Belichick last year.
Right. Chip Kelly against Bill Belichick.
He did though. Somehow.
I'm not sure it was him that did it.
Somehow.
Patriots 4-0 against the spread on the road this year. They've covered 3 of 4, Ryan, as a favorite of 10 or more points. So, I mean, wow. I mean, they're covering big numbers. I mean, it just seems like a same song and dance every week with New England. San Francisco, 1-4 ATS at home. They're 2-7 overall, and they're giving up 31 points per game. Another guy licking his lips for today's game, Tom Brady. Tom Brady leads the league in passer rating and completion percentage, 73%. So, I mean, this guy's over 73% completion percentage. It's just unbelievable. Still has Martellus Bennett, so it's not going to matter. He's going to be able to move the ball. One thing also I think has to be mentioned, Ryan. Tom Brady is from San Mateo, California.
Yep.
25 miles away. Actually, 25 minutes from downtown San Francisco.
It was her favorite team growing up.
Correct.
He idolized Joe Montana.
He's never played in San Francisco until today.
Sound like, did you hear his interview earlier in the week? Sound like he was a little bitter about San Francisco, basically saying, hey, like, you're just really not in our plans. Like, we're not going to draft you. Like, he was kind of like, felt a little disrespected from his hometown team, which,
yeah.
I mean,
well,
if there's one person that has had a chip on their shoulder, it's obviously been Tom Brady.
And they're off a loss. This one could be disastrously bad for the Niners.
Yeah.
I just don't see a lot of success for them today. Though it is the very public side, the Patriots, they normally get the job done, so it doesn't seem to ever matter. I think the Patriots win 38-17.
Yeah, look, I know that Sean talking about how he's not happy with the defense as of late, and rightfully so. But San Francisco is. They're nothing special offensively, though, Sean. Even though Kaepernick's back, and this team only could score 23 points against New Orleans. Nothing to really get excited about there. 17 against Tampa, so they may be able to score 17 to 20, maybe somewhere in there. But I like the Patriots too, coming off a loss. Had they won last week, had they found a way to win that game, an emotional Sunday night affair. Now they got to go across the country to San Francisco. Right, perfect letdown spot, but off a loss, Tom Brady just dominates after a loss. That's the way I'll lean. and if there's one thing that they should be able to do today is run the football. We talked about on the show plenty of times the lack of success that San Francisco has stopping the run. LeGarrette Blount should be able to have a field day over 100 yards if they decide to try to ride him. So, yeah, Pats, I'll go minus 11, I guess.
11.5.
11.5.
Yeah, agreed. I think I'm going to be on the same side here. Sean, I don't really anchor the same sentiment on their defense. He thinks that they're awful. I don't know if I agree with that.
Maybe compared to years past, sure, but perhaps
But it's the 49ers.
Seattle put up 31, but then previous weeks it was 25, 16, 17, 13, 16. So I mean, I guess when you're a Patriots fan, your expectations are
regrettably
in the
high.
clouds. So.
Right. Patriots minus 11.5 we're going to go with here. 425. Seattle Seahawks minus 6.5 against the Philadelphia Eagles over under 43. Since drafting Russell Wilson, Ryan, Seattle Seahawks 31-5 at home.
That's okay, I guess.
Since 2012, Seattle Seahawks at home giving up 12.8 points per game. However, Ryan, do you happen to know that the Eagles are statistically better on defense this year than the Seahawks? Against the pass and against in total D. Eagles actually rank higher.
Yeah.
Both teams give up 18 points a game, which is really impressive. Eagles, though, have struggled on the road. 1-4 this year on the road.
Yep.
They just really are unbackable anymore on the road. You would agree with that, Ryan? I mean, just whether it's against anyone, they just struggle. A couple key cogs for the Eagles if they want to win this game or keep it close even. There's no excuse today if they can't get a pass rush. None. Because this Seahawks offensive line sucks. Particularly George Fant on the rookie left tackle. She sucks. Fletcher Cox should be able to get to the quarterback today. Benny Logan's back. Run defense should be back to normal. He was great last week. He is really important to this run defense.
Yep.
The problem, though, Russell Wilson has been unbelievable lately. 5 touchdowns in 2 games, 630 yards. Nolan Carroll's back, though, which is important. They need him in there. And again, the Eagles have been a bend-don't-break team on the defensive side. If they could just get some pass rush today, they're going to be fine. I don't really see anyone for Seattle that really concerns me on the outside. I mean,
Doug Baldwin has been fantastic.
Yeah,
he's been fantastic. But other than him, they're pretty.
But they don't have like a dominating wide receiver. They don't have Julio Jones or Des Bryant. So again, I think you could be a little bit more reckless as far as on the defensive side. I think Jim Caldwell or what's his name, Jim
Schwartz.
Schwartz, right? Sorry, he'll be fine. Offensively, though, I think the Eagles may struggle. Carson Wentz. I think the kid's going to give his all for sure. He always does. He just doesn't have any weapons. And, again, we've mentioned licking their chops. Seahawks defense has to be licking their chops against these wide receivers. These wide receivers are the worst in the NFL. No team has worse wide receivers than this team. They've incorporated Zach Ertz a little bit, but he is so slow he can't make anyone miss. The running game has been up and down. Buzz makes a great point. How the Eagles scoring today? They have to involve Bryce Treggs in today's game plan a little bit. Have to take a shot or two downfield. Have to try to get some something deep, pass interference or something. But Seahawks at home, they're going to get calls. Eagles haven't been out there in a long time. But I think
who's your pick?
I'm going to go with the Eagles. I think they hang around. I don't know why. Another field game for me.
I absolutely disagree 100%. I've been trying to think about this. I've been thinking about this game all week, and if you follow me on Twitter, I threw some thoughts out there this morning. Eagles wide receivers, I believe they had last week, other than Jordan Matthews, I believe they had 1 reception.
I'm kidding, Ryan. I'm
kidding. That was Nelson Aguilar, which was a play that they reviewed and ended up giving him a catch that was called incomplete. So I believe they only had 1 or 2 receptions outside of Jordan Matthews. Now they got to go on the road to Seattle against this defense and this, secondary. I just am not sure how they're how they're going to be able to move the ball and get the ball downfield. You talked about Ertz. He has a hamstring injury now, of course, so he's going to be he's going to be banged up, and Jordan Matthews is banged up going into this game as well. Both are going to play, but they're both hurt. They're both their best players offensively are banged up. They need to be able to run the ball with some success. It's funny, both these teams, I'm talking about Atlanta last week and Seattle this week, they both run the same kind of defense. Dan Quinn came over from Seattle, runs the same kind of defense. Now, I know the players are different. Obviously, that helps. But the same kind of defense, same kind of scheme, both these teams run. So it'd be nice if the Eagles could, try to establish the run and get the running game going early. Got to dominate time of possession like they like to do, like Peterson likes to do. Those are the only ways that I see them being able to stay competitive. I like Seattle in this game. I think the fact that it's under a touchdown is fantastic. I'll take them in this situation. I'm just not sure. And look, I know you say about the pass rush and the offensive line, true, but for whatever reason, whenever things break down, Russell Wilson just always seems to get out of trouble. And I think that's, especially with the wide nine that the Eagles like to run, getting around the edge and not keeping contained like they're supposed to, there's going to be a lot of opportunities, I feel like, for the Eagles, for Russell Wilson to get through that initial line and get into the back end of this defense and make plays on the run. Cox and Benny Logan need to get him up the middle. That's the only way I think they can kind of have success. I like the Seahawks.
Yeah, I was only kidding when I said.
Yeah, well, I mean,
I'm agreeing with you.
That's fine because I'm sure there are people out there that like the Eagles.
Yeah, I agree with you wholeheartedly. I think they're really. Aguilar has just been such a disgrace. I mean, he is just really pathetic.
He's awful.
I can't believe this guy is just.
I think a lot of it for him too is a mentality right now.
Well, this isn't going to be a good mentality going in today.
He's all, in my opinion, he's all mental right now. He's so just down in the dirt right now that nothing. I don't think he can do anything. He thinks he can do anything right.
And I also find it funny that I know this Bryce Treggs is quick and all, but this city's holding out hope that they get him involved.
Yeah,
a guy that couldn't make the NFL roster on another team.
Yeah,
and they're hanging on to hope that Bryce Treggs is going to make it all go away.
Yep.
Yeah,
I like Seattle, so that's the way. That's right.
But
I don't.
But I will point out the Eagles find ways to win these games.
They get up
for
these.
reason.
I know they get up against these good upper echelon teams. Maybe this is reminiscent of the Patriots game last year. I don't know, but
silver lining
has that feel. But we'll find something out about the Eagles.
Doug Peterson is from the area. Just saying.
All right.
He was a Seahawks fan growing up, supposedly.
Sure. Yeah.
So maybe
holds a little water there.
Yeah, I don't think it will though.
Yeah.
Because Doug Peterson, his play calling has been all over the place. If you bet the Eagles today, I don't really get why. I'm not really sure. If this was at home.
Yeah, different story.
Yeah, correct. So we'll go Seahawks minus 6.5. Redskins 8:30 game. Redskins -3 against Green Bay, over under 49. Green Bay's lost 3 in a row, Ryan, and lost 4 or 5.
Yep.
How about that?
Yep.
Aaron Rodgers, I've heard reports in his personal life that he is totally disconnected from his family
for like over 2 years.
Totally, that's pretty unbelievable, really. But again, I don't know how big his family is or kind of what's going on. I can understand why a guy of his stature, professional. I could see why. I don't know his. Yeah, for sure, bro, for sure. We do that at the end anyway. But I could see as a professional and a celebrity how. I don't know how he grew up or whatever, but your family could be kind of hang-oners,
Sure.
And you could get tired of that. So I don't fault him for that. But a lot of stuff going on in his personal life, and he's not played well. I don't know what's going on with him, but the Skins have won 5 of 7. Green Bay's pass defense has been a total mess. Their offensive line's a total mess. To get a home game here, you got to figure Landover's going to be popping tonight. Skins playing a lot of close games. I think this one will be a pretty good game, to be honest. I think it'll come down maybe to the final drive or two. I think the Redskins will do enough to get the job done. I'm just not interested in Green Bay right now. Last week was eye-opening with them.
Yeah, I'm not interested in Green Bay as well. I think, there comes a time where you just have to kind of be like, and especially now where we're in week 11, we're 10 weeks into the season, and you just need to be like, look, maybe this team just isn't very good. And, a lot of people are saying, oh, well. And I think the big thing that I noticed that kind of swung my thought into the fact that I just think Green Bay is lost and it's kind of I don't want to say thrown in the towel, but they're just the locker room is just not together. Where remember, was it last year, 2 years ago, when they kind of got off this slow start and Rodgers had his whole relaxed speech and all that kind of stuff. After last week's game, Rodgers didn't say relax, didn't say, hey, things will be okay. Rodgers said, look, there's some guys in this locker room that just are think their job is safe and they're just going out there and running through the motions and aren't giving it their all. And that's kind of that's kind of concerning to me for a team that had high expectations going into the year. So, yeah, I'll go Washington here. This is a team, if you remember, these two teams met in the wild card round last year in Washington. Green Bay knocked Washington out of the playoffs. So, yeah, I'll go Washington. This team's playing pretty well. So,
yeah, and again, I think it's interesting that this year, this is finally the year where Aaron Rodgers has struggled. And the personal life is in full.
I'm wondering what Philly guys talking. I'm just talking about like nothing around him.
I don't care.
He pretty much has the same team around him.
Yeah, I'm just trying not.
I know. I'm just wondering. That's all. I'm not trying to like argue. I'm just. I mean, he still has Randall Cobb. He still has Jordy Nelson.
He has the exact same people around him. I don't know.
Maybe the running game isn't what it's supposed to be, but Rodgers usually throws the ball 40 times a game anyway. So
yeah, the personal life's a problem. I mean, it is. I mean, he has issues with his brother. He has issues with his own family.
But that's been something going on for 2 years.
But the whole family stuff is coming out, and now look, all of a sudden he's not playing well.
Maybe something that.
So
I don't.
I mean, Randall Cobb's still in there. Devontae Adams is still in there. Jordy Nelson's back.
Yeah, no, he's been there all
What's
year.
the excuse here?
Yeah.
I'll go with the Redskins here, -3.
Yep.
So let's recap, Ryan. Redskins -3, Seahawks -6.5, Patriots -11.5, Rams +1, Steelers -9, Ravens +7, Bills Bengals over 47.5. Vikings Cards we both canceled out. We both like opposite sides. Under 42.5, Bears Giants, Chiefs -7, Lions -6, Titans +3. How about that, Ryan?
Yep.
Week 11 in the books. College football yesterday. Weather was indeed an issue in certain games. We'll start off with Jim Harbaugh, who was supposedly very impressed with backup cornerback John O'Korn, who I believe was 6 for 17 for 57 yards. Now, again, it didn't start snowing, I don't think, until the third quarter. Wilton Spate, done for the season. Harbaugh says, no, that's not. But again, how is he nuts? I mean, John O'Korn was terrible yesterday. You watched the game, Ryan. He
was terrible in the first half. He was able to make some plays in the second half. Most importantly, that 30-yard run down the sideline, which kind of gave the whole team and gave himself, O'Korn, a kind of a spark and maybe the belief that, hey, I got this. So, and I think that they were obviously smart to get the run game going. I thought the play calling for the second week in a row was a little suspect, but to able to get the run game going, get Devion Smith involved on senior day, I thought was extremely smart. So, they weathered the storm, so to speak, the snowstorm too, and got out of there with a win. And people are look, I follow a lot of Michigan pages and Michigan guys, and there are talks that Wilton Spate is not done for the year. This was talked about last week, that he's not done for the year. That's not a broken collarbone, that it's an AC joint injury on his non-throwing shoulder, that basically it's going to come down to, especially how he evolves this week, it's going to come down to pain tolerance. If he can handle it and they're able to kind of keep him upright against Ohio State and not take a lot of big shots, that he'll be able to play that game and see what they give you. But it sets up a big showdown in Columbus this weekend. So
yeah, I think if I saw correctly, Michigan's +7 in that game.
+7.
Going to be all over the Wolverines. Yeah. It's going to be a big game, Ryan.
Yeah, it's a huge game.
As far as everything else yesterday, pretty much went as advertised. I don't think anything was surprising. Alabama beats Chattanooga, which was a surprise to some. But
yeah, did you see Saban's interview at halftime?
I did not.
You need to watch it. It's funny. It looked like he was going to kill that sideline reporter. It was being such a dick to him.
Why?
He was being such a dick to her.
Why?
It was just watch it. You'll see.
Penn State, 7 straight wins, could represent the Big Ten. How about that?
They could. They got to win next week against Michigan State and hope Ohio State knocks off Michigan.
Some guy on Score.com, that app or whatever, Michael Calabresi, he says that Penn State may be the biggest roadblock for Alabama to win the national championship, supposedly.
I mean, is there anyone out there besides Penn State fans that wants to see either Penn State in the Big Ten title game or in the college football playoff? I don't.
I mean,
if Penn State has to play Clemson, Alabama, or we'll use Ohio State, I guess. I don't. In a neutral site, I don't feel good about it.
ESPN's Brett McMurphy. I do not see how Charlie Strong could survive. He's been getting every opportunity to succeed. Everyone wanted him to. He loses to Kansas yesterday. He's now 16-20 in 3 seasons with the Longhorns and has never failed. He's never posted a winning campaign in any of these seasons. Is it pretty evident Charlie Strong's gone tomorrow, you would imagine?
Well, it sounds like reports are saying he's going to get fired after the season, after TCU next week. So either way, regardless, whether it's tomorrow or whether it's at the end of the season, he's definitely gone. I think he's 16-20 in his 3 seasons there, and then the loss yesterday just is the icing on the cake. That's pathetic. I mean, if you're a program like Texas, I mean, their running back just passed Earl Campbell for the most consecutive 100-yard rushing games in Texas football history. That's impressive. And you still can't find ways to win. And you got Michelle, who has shown glimpses, can throw the ball downfield, and you still can't find ways to win.
Yeah, I mean, he's continued to kind of say he's a defensive mind and whatever.
And they give him 40 points a game.
I don't know what's going on there.
That's a joke.
All those Texas schools suck.
Everyone lost their mind and blew their loads when they beat Notre Dame week 1. And now on, November 20th, look where we're at.
Texas A&M, Baylor, TCU, Texas, all.
A lot of Big 12 schools are going to be looking for coaches, too.
Yeah, all poor franchises.
Baylor, Texas.
Houston, maybe?
Maybe.
Yeah. A couple other things, Ryan. Good game yesterday, Washington State, Colorado. You mentioned you like Colorado in that game. They got the job.
Yeah, gave them out as one of my plays.
One of your plays of the week. We went 3-1 yesterday on the show, by the way. Colorado needed the game a little bit more. Washington State's going to be for that.
Plus, I think Colorado's just the better team, personally.
Interesting.
I do.
I don't.
I think Colorado.
I'm a Washington State guy.
You're a homer, but it is what I just think Colorado's. Yeah, I think overall Colorado's a better team. They have the better defense, and thereby I think they're the better team.
One of the best finishes yesterday, Ryan. I don't think you saw it, but I was watching it live for whatever reason.
Talking about the Oregon game?
No, San Diego State, Wyoming. It was. Let me explain what happened right at the end. San Diego State's down 7. Sorry.
Okay.
23-yard line, 1 second left. San Diego State has the ball. 1 play for all the marbles. Chapman throws it up to the end zone. Ball gets bobbled. Ball falls as the San Diego State guy catches it, and he wraps his hands under the ball.
Mm-hmm.
But at the end, he grabs possession, and right towards the end of the ball comes out. The Wyoming player knocks the ball out.
Wow.
For 5 minutes, Donnie Wright said they were watching it. 5 minutes, they deliberated.
Yeah.
People would run on the field, everything, because they thought the game was over. They ruled it incomplete. They overturned the call, Ryan, and scored a touchdown.
Wow.
Rocky Long goes for 2.
Oh, did he?
It doesn't get it.
No shit.
And they lose by 1.
Yeah, I didn't see that. I was long gone.
Which I like the point by Rocky Long because that game didn't
mean anything.
So it was like, whatever, take a shot. But Wyoming... That Wyoming team's good, man. I mean, they
at home
they were really had their backs against the wall. It was a 7-point game. They were down. They found a way to get back in the game and tie it, and they got the job done. That's going to be an interesting game. I really hope we see Wyoming, San Diego State in that.
Well,
I don't know if that's possible anymore.
It should be because Wyoming.
Well, Boise won again, so.
But Wyoming holds the tiebreaker.
True, right. Yeah,
that's why Wyoming winning last night was extremely important because they lost to UNLV last week, which would give them 1 loss in conference, and Boise would have 1 loss in conference. But it's still Wyoming. Yeah. If Wyoming wins next week at New Mexico, they will be in the Mountain West.
And I hope they do because I think that's a better game. Boise doesn't do a lot for me. I think it's kind of a shame that they're still ranked ahead of Western Michigan. By the way, I had Western Michigan. I gave them out as a free play.
Yeah.
How did they cover?
38-0. Yep.
No, but dude, they were up 3-0 at the end of the first
I know.
quarter.
That's why they played 4 quarters. Yeah.
God. Dude, but Fleck is throwing the ball with like 2 minutes left.
Yeah,
I'm
look,
like, whoa.
I think the big thing too why Boise's ranked ahead of Western Michigan is because of that Washington State win. I think that probably holds a little water there, but just
Yeah, but
it's the best win. It's
Yeah.
the better win out of the schools. So
yeah, right. Plus, Boise has kind of that aura, that
yeah,
they've kind of been a team to beat for a while. One other one, Ryan. West Virginia, a no-show at home against Oklahoma. You mentioned you liked Oklahoma. I kind of like West Virginia at home. But
Oklahoma's playing
Oklahoma
probably the best football in the country right now. So, and there's definitely an outside shot that this team somehow, after not thinking it was possible and not thinking the Big 12 could get in, is they have a shot to be the 4th team represented in the college football playoff. It's definitely a possibility at this point.
I think it's probably again you have some of those offenses that all they do is is throw the ball or whatever. But I think Oklahoma is the best offense in the country. Like I really do.
They're impressive. They're clicking on all cylinders right now.
Like in the first half last night, they were just gashing that defense.
Yeah.
Just gashing them. Oklahoma meets Oklahoma State next week in Norman for the Red River rivalry or whatever it's called.
That's Oklahoma and Texas.
Or what's this one called? Bedlam.
Bedlam.
Sorry. By the way, though, don't sleep on Oklahoma State.
No, yeah.
Oklahoma State's pretty good, man.
It's a shame that Central Michigan game happened to them, that loss happened, because they'd be sitting there with only 1 loss right now.
I like Mason Rudolph. Justice Hill's become a really good running back for them, and they have some good.
I think defensively is kind of what separates them. They've been pretty solid defensively.
They have. They were good yesterday against TCU.
Yes.
TCU, scored 6 points.
Yeah. Yep.
Why were they a favorite yesterday?
Not
Did you
sure.
see that?
Not
They
sure.
were 6.5-point favorites.
Yeah, weird line.
Really weird. But one more week, Ryan. Next week, you got kind of a half week. You got games on Thursday. I think you
have one game Thursday, which is obviously Thanksgiving. LSU at Texas A&M.
Which I don't care.
That'll be at 7:30 kickoff. So
right, and then you got Friday. You got a couple. You got the Apple Cup, a couple other games.
Yep.
But a lot of the big games are on Saturday, I believe.
Correct.
So that'll be it, Ryan. College basketball today. Have you stayed up on that at all? I know we talked about it the other day on the college show.
A little bit, probably not as much as others, to be honest with you. But obviously Sunday is usually a pretty big. Saturday and Sunday obviously are the big college basketball days. So there's actually a couple of games going on right now, Jeff. So
yeah, as far as some of the bigger games, you have this tournament in Connecticut at the Mohegan Sun.
Yeah,
you got Rhode Island and Duke.
Yep.
Rhode Island, man, I'm telling you, I bet on them 2 or 3 times this year already. Watch out for them today.
Solid team.
They got a really good basketball team, well coached. Danny Hurley. I think he can match up pretty well with Duke.
Duke's banged up too. So.
Yeah. They're getting 8 points for Rhode Island.
Yep.
Just watch out. Buzz, you have Yale plus 18. That's good play by you. I actually kind of like that play myself. We saw Yale last year in the tournament, Ryan.
Yeah.
Kai Mason and that group. Virginia, London Perantes did lose a lot last year, though. I like that. I could see that happening. Hang around, maybe. Interesting line of the day, Ryan. The Citadel at Iowa State. Take a guess what the total is in that one. Remember Citadel last year?
186.
How'd you know that? You looked right at it. Well, what about that's an NBA?
No, but if I seriously had to guess, I would have probably guessed like 190. Actually,
That's
I know these teams score and don't play defense.
That's an NBA total.
Yeah,
186.5. I
if
mean,
you remember the Citadel last year,
or yeah,
what was it? Yeah, it was the Citadel last year that week in and week out was just.
Yeah, they did. They gave up 100 points. It was their day job. Jeff and Sean both had West Virginia yesterday. How did that do? I didn't catch the game. They lost. But again, it was I gave it out as a free play. It wasn't anything crazy. I kind of liked the game, and if you're on the level of free plays, I gave out Army. How'd that do?
Yep.
I gave out.
Carl's a troll. What do you expect?
I gave out.
That's just what it is.
Andre Ward by decision, that hit, and I gave out Grand Canyon, which won as well.
Yep.
So, windy out there.
It is windy out there.
I'm
not looking forward to going outside. That's for sure.
Citadel, Iowa State. Do we go over in that game? Gotta go over, right?
I guess.
I mean, is anyone going to get a stop in that game?
You wouldn't think, but
But I don't know. Iowa State team total over might be the play. So that'll be it. Everyone enjoy NFL for today. Should be a fun day. NFL Week 11. You got college basketball. You got NBA. You got all sorts of stuff today. So enjoy. What are we doing today, Ryan? What are you? You're just gonna hang?
I'm gonna go to the grocery store and then
nice.
And then
how about that?
Well, I gotta go because
I went last week
because there's nothing here, and I'm not going tomorrow during the week, so I gotta go now. The Eagles don't play till 4 either, so I don't really care if I miss a little bit of the start of the 1 o'clock.
Maybe a little
games.
buffalo chicken dip.
So,
that might be
maybe
for the game. Maybe I might call my brother. I should call my brother.
Why? Oh, he's a Seahawks fan. That's right.
He's a big Seahawks fan.
Forgot about that. I wonder what he's up to.
Nobody takes you losers serious. Keep trying. Well, thanks. You must be quite the. You must have quite the life, man. I gotta say, Sunday morning, and you're on a.
Yep, and you're trolling.
Really? Can you recap real quick? Andres, we did. I'm not sure where you were, but I'll do it again for you. No problem. Redskins -3, Seahawks -6.5, Patriots -11.5, Rams +1, Steelers -9, Ravens +7, Bengals over 47.5, Giants under 42.5, Chiefs -7, Lions -6, Titans +3. The only game we had differing opinions on was Arizona, Minnesota, so we have no pick in that game.
Yep.
Everyone have a great day, and we'll see you next time on the Big Metal Campus. Have a great day. Bye-bye.